Ahmed is now going to re-establish the Skype connection live from Nepal.
We have video.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Samden.
Good afternoon, Ahmad. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Samden, especially as I'm standing in front of what looks like a very full house.
Well, it is so cool to see such a nice gathering of people in support of Nepal. Thank you so much for attending. I think everybody in Nepal really appreciates your support.
Samden, well, we thank you too, and we'd like to hear a little bit from you about the broader situation in Nepal and what you have been doing.
Well, the broader situation in Nepal is that the earthquake has been very, has hit us at a very unfortunate timing, in the sense that, we have a sort of political instability in Nepal. We're just coming within a backdrop of a decade-long Maoist conflict. We don't even have a fixed constitution. We are in an interim constitution, and the parliament is supposed to draft a constitution. There is lacking in political consensus. There is a very strong sense of partisanship and opposition within the government and amongst the political actors. So it is within this context, and Nepal being a very poor country, a very unequal country, and the government faring very badly in the corruption index. So it's within this context that the earthquake has hit, and unfortunately the earthquake has been very unfair. It's hit hardest amongst the poorer sections of the population, amongst the sections of the population that are living in remote, inaccessible regions. So the level of inequality is just going to increase because of the earthquake itself too. And that is why, because in the initial days of the quake, of the aftermath of the quake, there was lacking in media attention for the marginalized communities, for people living in remote areas. There was inaction, from the government and even amongst international agencies because of, bureaucratic bottlenecks, red tape, and stuff like that. And that is why, like young people like us, volunteers, we just came out and sprang in action. And our focus was to basically target remote and inaccessible villages, and for marginalized communities, for people that would probably not have any access to government aid. So that was our focus, and that's how we sprang into action. We provided relief materials like tent, rice, lentils, oil, cooking, just basic stuff. So, our first initial immediate target was to avoid starvation for people that had lost everything. As you can see in the villages, they're totally devastated. The people have lost their homes, they've lost their cattle, they've lost their food, they've lost their seed. So we wanted to tackle starvation. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Loud and clear.
So that was our initial objective, and that's how we've been carrying on since then, yes.
Samden, tonight we've heard about the urgency of acting because of the upcoming monsoons. What are you planning to do in the next couple of weeks?
Well, again, I would really like to thank a lot of the international support, and especially Tent for Peace, for providing the much required shelter, especially for inaccessible villages like, in the Laprak region, where we operated with around 250 porters. We participated in a massive expedition, which is about 6 to 7 days of walking with around 250 to 300 porters, and in a loose network of volunteers, and provided the tents and, the much needed tarps that Tent for Peace provided. So, again, trying to reach inaccessible villages that would probably be left out of the aid process because of the monsoon. It is very likely that the landslides would come in, roads would be blocked, even walking trails would be blocked. So right now we are working at a very fast-paced manner to provide relief, especially with temporary temporary shelter. You know, we are moving on to temporary and transitional shelter at this phase, and providing tunnel homes. We're made up of zinc, bamboo, and local materials, so that people can have temporary shelter, you know, at least to cross this monsoon. So this is our immediate, goal right now.
Okay. Thank you, Samden. As well as running an educational NGO in Kathmandu,
Right.
you're also head of Snow Leopard Trekking. So
Yes.
who better to use porters and reach
Right.
very remote villages
Right.
than a trekking company with the logistics? But you probably have a longer-term message about what will help Nepal.
Well, the long-term message is, I think, livelihood generation, you know. And the good thing is, I think, even for tourists, you know, a lot of the destinations, tourism destinations in Nepal are pretty much safe. The capacity is there. And the beauty of, regardless of all the tragedy that has happened, the Nepali people are very resilient. What I've experienced from, traveling to villages right now is that the people have a high degree of self-esteem, and that's also because they're very competent, they have the skills, they're very confident in being able to rebuild. You know, they have the local materials. We have to provide some degree of material support, like, zinc, and tents for right now, and maybe also rice. But with the level of support, I think, with tourism, we kickstart local economies, because tourism
got to the end of the road with all the supplies, 3-day trek up into the Langtang Valley.
Can we just pause? Hi, Samden.
Hi. Hello, yeah.
We're sorry the internet cut out. Was there
I'm sorry to
anything else that you wanted to tell us at the moment?
Well, on behalf of all the villages that we've reached, my experience is that there is a lot of suffering and devastation that the people have experienced, yet the spirit of volunteerism and the spirit of self-esteem of Nepali villagers are just as high, and they're standing tall. Thank you so much for all the support, especially to Tent for Peace, and for you all for coming in and listening to us and listening to our plight. So, with your international support and the solidarity that we have from all over the world, I think we can, overcome this massive tragedy that Nepal's villages have faced. So I just wanted to thank you so much for coming in and offering your support.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.